Hello, folks. This is the Crystal Tomb. I am kcStranger, and I am joined by my having technical difficulties players. Thank you, Roll20. Also, thank you, XSplit Broadcaster, for not being our sponsor, but, maybe one day. And Tractor Blind, who I think I might, or Tractor Blind, I really need to establish that. I might give you a 50% discount on
I feel
any
like that's some
payments while
sort
I'm not
of.
sure of your name's pronunciation.
I think that's some sort of whey protein aimed at marketing to farmers.
I'll make sure to mention that to him. All right. So last time, the party made their way to the Tower of Innis, which, if you'll remember, is... Hello? Roll20. Don't do this.
It's going to be one of those days.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. Okay. So you won't remember because what I actually have here is a blank grid. So let me see if
pretty tower.
Let me see if my picture still works. Yeah, my picture still works. All right. Anyways, that's way at the south of the continent. And they were met there by an eclectic group of individuals in sort of a command tent at the base of the tower. So there was Ethnic Greensword, attendant to Emerald Stormtreader, who is the human representative on sort of the Central Council, the Council of Seven. Nistia Cantaniel, the High Priest of Innis, Teofil Greenwood, commander of the Halfling Special Forces Unit, and Mira Hillcrest, a top-ranking lieutenant in the Adder's Fang Thieves Guild. The party was brought into a meeting in progress where they learned that Innis's magic had departed the priests, making the situation even more tenuous against the demon army that was sweeping across the country. One group had been held back at Tindas, a second swept west from Siren towards Overwatch. If I had a map, I'd point out where all these are, but for now, those are sort of on the east and west parts of the continent. And that second one sort of overran the north of the Halfling territory and is now threatening the Dragonborn to the north and the Halflings and humans to the south. The party, however, remained steadfast in their aim to retrieve the vestiges of Valkadir. As the party had lost two of its members, Maxis and Ernan joined the party to assist in this. They spent the evening using the tower's resources to try to figure out where additional vestiges might be. And Colleen found and later, shall we say, borrowed the journal of General Kusiru Cliffbreaker Von Kalmathani, from which she learned that the Amulet of Foresight had likely been stored in an ice palace on Erju Glacier. And the general was sort of one of the early leaders of the settlement of Anandgrun about 700 years ago. So after conferring with Maxis, she learned that there was indeed a location that was known to the Goliaths and was often used as a destination on vision quests. And that was likely to be the location described in the journal. So as the next morning dawns, the priests of Innis are beginning to secure a number of items at the tower for transport to Citadel, and Citadel's the capital of the human territory. It's sort of in the south central of the settled part. And Citadel, even though it's under a lot of threat, it's at least more defensible than the tower. Notably, Colleen saw sort of an ornate adamantine box being carried down the stairs of the tower as she left the library level in the early hours of the morning. So, Colleen, you exit the tower early and notice that most of the camp is still asleep in their tents. You do, however, notice Maxis sitting just outside his tent, sharpening a knife and watching the sunrise. So you walk down, journal in hand. Do you do anything in particular or say anything to Maxis, etc.?
I'm just going to store the journal in my bag for now, but I will mention the box and wonder what might be in it.
So, I mean, are you going over and talking to Maxis then?
Yeah, I just don't see him in Roll20, so...
Oh, I think he's in...
I say, I'm here?
but
I'm narrating my interaction with you.
Yeah, it's just roll 20 problems. So, Colleen,
yeah.
you see Maxis outside his tent. You get his attention with a little wave, and then wander over.
Yeah, I saw them bring him the box down. I have no idea what's in it. Looks expensive. Apparently, I'm assuming it's one of the first things that they've brought out. Casey?
Yeah. Looks like they're not trying to move the entire tower. There are a number of other more sort of mundane-looking boxes, probably have multiple items in them that they're sort of gathering up outside the tower.
Okay.
You do also notice, well, actually, no, you wouldn't at this point. So just a few priests
All right.
stirring at this point.
Other than that, camp's pretty dead this morning.
I do wonder what you would need to keep in an adamantine box like that.
I would assume something that has relation to their god. I don't know. They pay me to watch the boundaries, not really the stuff.
As someone who respects the ideas of Venice, it makes me that much more curious what could be in that box.
Well, you can ask him to look. Or look.
What's in the box?
Strangely, everyone gets the reference.
I mean, are you actually wandering over to try to ask, or are you just saying that?
I'm gonna keep an eye on it, like position myself around it as it moves.
I would say, have they been setting up the like the teleportation circle and all that stuff this morning? Are they low to get on there, or?
You don't see that yet, although you do see a few people standing around an area sort of at the base of the tower, and you imagine that might be what they're getting ready for.
Okay. So, is there anybody around? I'd like to ask someone how long it's going to take them to set up the circle and start shipping stuff out, and then actually get everything out that they need.
Yeah, you notice just sort of a few random priests, elves. Well, let me think. It'd be 3 elves, 2 male, 1 female, standing there, and also Nistia. You see sort of waiting there and watching over things.
Okay. I'll probably go up to Nistia, I guess.
Okay.
And ask how long she thinks until they're done shipping stuff out.
Okay, so you walk over, you greet her, she says good morning, and then you ask that question.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not quite sure, but I think it'll start pretty quickly once people wake up. She sort of looks around. Probably they should be up any minute. Give it half an hour for breakfast, maybe probably within the hour.
It did Brave walk up with me?
Sure, I'll hang out with you for a while, as long as it's in the box.
Cool. Okay. I'm kind of gonna look at you. Do we need to figure out some way to get north? Because it will take a very long time if we're going by foot or sea, either way.
I believe, and then she stops for a moment and sort of looks over your shoulder clean. Actually, there he is now. And you turn around and you notice a tall, slightly overweight human man. He has thick brown hair and actually an impeccably groomed beard. And Nistia says, I believe this is our transportation out, actually. And he nods and says, that'd be me. He reaches out his hand towards you, and I forgot to write down his last name. So let me find that real quick. He reaches out his hand to you, Colleen, and says, Lars Bramblebirch, pleased to meet you.
Maxis est Willendathia.
Pleasure.
Lars?
Yep.
Pleasure to meet you, Laws.
Yep.
So what
Anything
exactly
I can
are
do for
you?
y'all?
Well, that depends. Do you have any particular limitations on your ability to send people places?
Well, I can only send you to location for which I know the sigil sequence of a teleportation circle. So that is necessarily a limited list.
What is the most northern place that you could send us?
He looks at you and says, that. I talked to Mira about that last night. I think you'll be in good shape.
All right. Good enough for me. As I say, my curiosity's pretty much spent at this point. So, you said breakfast, Mira?
Well, Mira's not out yet. But, maybe you mentioned that to Lars, and he says, yeah, it's probably about that time. Give me a sec. You watch as he goes over to another one of the tents. There's a little bit of motion. About 30 seconds later, you see a couple people get out. They build a little fire, start cooking some eggs and sausages and washing off some apples.
All right. You know what we need? Looking at Killian. Breakfast beer. And I'm going to go get some beer.
I'm gonna keep my
Okay.
eye on the box.
Where are you attempting to get this beer from?
I have beer with me. I only have a gallon, so that's going to last like 2 days before I need to get more. But I'm going to go get like a mug of beer from my, I guess, personal stash.
Okay, so like a pint?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how you're tracking it, but you've got 7/8 of what you had before.
Dope. I'll note that in my book.
All right, cool. All right, so a little bit of time passes. The rest of you wake up to the smell of cooking meat. Sort of rouse yourselves, and a little bit later, you are all sort of standing around eating breakfast. Everybody roll me perception.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Five.
Yeah, I got a 11.
Okay.
Oh, I got all the bad rolls out of this test already. I didn't.
What'd you get?
9.
Okay. So Colleen and Fowlin, and technically also Gamork, you notice Kane step out of his tent, start to walk over to you. Then you see him sort of look to the right and disappear for a bit. About 5 minutes later, he comes over and joins you and starts eating breakfast with you all.
Where were you off to this morning, Kane?
Just having some final words with Mira.
Fallon, I need a witty comment about now.
I hope they would stay away.
He looks sort of nonplussed and just sort of mutters, remembering how he died. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So we're trying to get to the Goron Kingdom or the Iceland.
Yeah. Your destination is up sort of in the northeast, at a large glacier. It's called Airju Glacier. I wonder, is my map working now? I wonder what happens. This is
Hey, I
dangerous.
see a map.
Oh, you see a map? I just don't see it. I'm gonna attempt to reload, even though that might be foolish.
I've done it several times
Yeah.
now, and I still...
We see it
It
marked on
seems
the
to
map.
work for like 5 minutes and then it crashes again.
Yeah, actually, I
Yeah,
see it this time. So if you can see the map, I have to zoom really far out in order to show both of these locations. However, you basically need to get this distance. So it's over 600 miles away. Everyone see that who needs to?
Yes. No, I mean, I understand.
I just say I know where it is.
Yeah.
So,
Gotta reload the page again.
Yeah, me too, totally. Okay.
My
So,
character sheet crashing out.
oh, but no, it looks better. All right, so a little bit of time passes. There's some small talk, and then you hear a call over from by the circle, and it is indeed the wizard Lars Bramblebirch, who says, "All right, ready for the first group." And he looks over at you all by the fire, and he says, "And my understanding is that we're sending just the 5 of you over first, right? Colleen Larea, Fallon Fenris, 6, excuse me, Gamork,
I was waiting for my opportunity to correct.
Maxis Estrelanandathai, Aaron Redrave, and Kane Fish Farmer, yes?
I have.
I still can't believe his name is Fishfire.
That's what he told me. I did not force that upon him.
I know. I love it.
There are circumstances surrounding that name, but yes.
I still love it.
He prefers trout fetcher.
I think he regrets choosing it. All right. And he says, "If you will, please step into the circle."
I take a last look at the box.
I nudge Gamork in first.
Okay. More sort of steps inside and looks up at you. It's about a 10-foot diameter circle, so you're slightly close to each other, all standing in it, but you fit comfortably. All right, and he looks at all of you and says, "Ready?"
there's not a height requirement on this. I duck down a little bit.
He says, "You're well within it."
Dope. All right.
All right, and then you see him sort of start muttering. He waves his hand a little bit, and the ring of the circle where he's drawn a bunch of sigils in the ground lights up with sort of an orange light that suddenly envelops all of you, flashes brightly so that it's all you see for a moment. You feel a faint twisting sensation. Then, all at once, your vision returns to you with none of the usual effects of light overexposure. This isn't quite where you're at now, but it's close enough to the building that you're currently in. I will describe the room where you are. You find yourselves standing in a room with a floor, walls, and ceiling entirely of solid steel. It's small and uncomfortable, only about 10 feet on each side. The only adornments are a sigil sequence, which is etched into the floor beneath you, and set under a hard, clear material of some kind. You see rivets on the walls that presumably hold the steel panels together. And you see just the seam of a door, or at least you take it to be a door. It lacks any visible handle or lock. You notice a few other seams on it that might be openable from the other side. And also on what looks like a door, you see the words "knock for service" etched.
Okay. Knock on the door. Or whatever it is.
All right, you rap on the door. Some time passes. About 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds.
Oh, for the love of God.
Then you hear sort of a scraping sound, and the upper seam of the door slides away. It reveals another bar of sort of that hard, clear material that you're standing on, but you can hear a muffled voice from the other side, and he says, "Hi, who's there?" And at this, Kane actually speaks up and says, "We've got a letter for you." And he says, "All right, just a sec." The upper seam closes again, and the bottom one sort of pivots out and reveals a small compartment, basically, where Kane inserts the letter, and then it rocks back and closes again. It's like, all right, just a sec, we'll get this sorted out.
Do we know about this whole letter exchange nonsense?
Nope, Kane didn't say anything particularly about it.
Okay, I found. What the hell is going on?
Kane says, "Guys, I've got it taken care of. Just give it a second."
This is a
It's like
very...
you took care of that ruby.
This is very concerning behavior. Okay.
Look, I
You know
couldn't
we
tell
don't
you
like to
till
put
we're already
ourselves
here.
in your hands.
It's gonna be fun.
Why couldn't you tell us till we were here?
You didn't ask.
What? That is not a... We couldn't tell... Oh my God. Is this... You've been with this man before? Is this normal behavior?
Maxis meet Kane.
Unfortunately.
And he totally would say, "Guys," as well. Oh gosh, it's great. It's actually kind of fun playing Kane at this point.
I bet Botkin has a lot of secrets.
So about 30 seconds pass, and then you hear the sound of a latch disengaging, then another one, and finally the door sort of slides sideways, disappearing into the wall beside it. What you see on the other side is a rather large and nonplussed looking male Goliath. Not quite as tall as Maxis, but significantly more strongly built, dressed in leathers. And he looks at you and says, "All right, welcome to the facility. I've been asked to attend to your needs, so please come through."
Are we in Baj?
I enter.
No, actually, we're out on the glacier right now.
I definitely enter because it's cold out.
I'm gonna walk out too. What's going on in here?
Okay. So you walk out into a hallway. Again, this is the best picture I could find, but it captures the mood fairly well. Like, it's fairly dark, fairly Spartan. Lots of stone and steel. Also, a little bit. You get the sense that it isn't a particularly large building, or at least if it is, it has like a lot of long corridors rather than big open spaces. But he leads you down one hallway. You turn right, go just a short distance, and then he gestures you towards actually a decently comfortable looking room. It's got some chairs and sofas set up around a fireplace that's actually already lit up. He says, "Feel free to take a seat. I'll be with you in a minute. Any of you want something to eat or drink? By the way, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Where are my manners?
Yes to both. Oh, yeah.
I'll take
go
orders in a moment." He stops and looks at you. "The name is Lone Hunter. Yurak Lone Hunter. Tasimaldasi. I have your names from the letter." So he looks at it for a moment. "Which one of you is Aaronin and which one of you is Fowlin?"
Oh, there.
Okay, fantastic.
Bow deeply in faith.
So now, once again, drink orders.
What do you got?
I mean, I'd love an ale.
I have at least a passable version of most everything.
I'll
Nothing's
take it.
Great.
Fair enough. We are surrounded by ice.
Yep.
I will take the closest thing you have to coffee.
I think I can manage that.
Do you have any of the good stuff?
He looks at you.
And I look back and say, dark, can't see through it.
I mean, that's true of coffee. What are you getting at?
Depending on the beer, that's
How could beer, man? You have porter.
Oh. I'll see if I've got any left. And for you,
what,
Missy?
Is he talking to Kane? Speak up, Kane. Tell him.
He's talking to Colleen.
Fallon knows this.
Just some tea, please.
Come right up. Please make yourselves comfortable. He disappears sort of into an adjoining room. You hear the sound of maybe a cellar door or something open and close, and then a moment later open and close again. Some general bustling. Okay. And he comes back out with sort of one plate that just has like cheese and crackers on it, basically, as well as all your drinks, including Fallon. He does bring you what appears to be some sort of like chocolate porter. You do drink it, and it's, as he said, not the best you've ever had, but it's fine. And he sits down in the largest open chair that he's been left. Says, "All right, now, how much do you all know about where you're at?" Kane sort of shifts uncomfortably and says, "I didn't really tell him much." And nods and says, "All right, well, what you need to know is that this facility is on the glacier. It is run by your friendly neighborhood thieves guild. And I've been ordered to give you what help you require. So I have maps. I can try to help you figure out where you're going. I have supplies. It will be most likely rather cold and windy out there. I have food if you need them for the journey, so on and so forth."
How long has this facility been here?
"Why do you need to know that?" And he smiles.
Well, because it is extremely insulting for if someone would stumble across this on their spiritual journey. I'm just curious how long it's been here and no one noticed.
It's been here.
I'm sure people have noticed occasionally, but
He says, "It's been here a while. When you step outside, you might realize why nobody's noticed it. And also, I would strongly advise that you not spread the word."
You step outside, it's probably an orphanage.
well, I'm not planning on going home anytime soon. It's probably not going to be a problem.
Very good. Now, hate to get straight to business, but anything I can do for you? I think you're somewhere around... Well, actually, wait a minute. The letter didn't say where you're going.
What do I remember the name of the place? I think
give
I
me a
have
history
it wrote
check.
down, but
You actually wouldn't know because I named it during my prep this weekend.
Okay. Hold on. All right, +1. That's real bad. 7. So no, I do not remember.
Let me think about that, actually.
So do I get advantage
Yeah,
because
actually,
I'm a Goliath?
Yeah, actually, no. So, although... Okay. So yeah, you're not quite sure. You know that it is... Yeah, you remember some things about it. Like, you heard a story, you don't remember the details. But you know that it was some sort of, like, ice palace type thing that was somehow constructed by General Kasiru. But you really don't remember the details of the story.
Okay. We need to go to the ice palace that was built by the Cliffbreaker.
He looks at you. He says, "Oh, okay. Let me grab my maps just a second." Again, sort of disappears to another room. Comes back with a couple like pieces of parchment. Sort of moves the food to the side and lays one out and says, "So," and he thinks for a moment. "I think that where you're looking to go is right about here." And he gestures to a location. So, and then he draws sort of a line, like faintly with like a pencil on the map. "Looks like this will be your bearing, probably somewhere between 30 and 50 miles here." And he takes another scrap of paper, jots down a few notes on it, and hands it to you, Maxis. And he says, "Set your compass by this, and you should go straight past it. If you go," he looks at it, "if you go more than 50 miles, you've gone too far. The coordinates are this." And he writes down a couple of like cartographic mappings. And then he says, "And here's a map of the glacier just in case." Obviously fairly rough, so hopefully you find it on the first pass.
Speaking of which, we just came from the very southern tip of the island. Do you have winter clothes that can fit everyone?
Happily, we keep a stock
something.
against such occasions. Who needs them?
I'd say I likely do.
Let me check
I
the sheet.
would like some kind of just general overcoat. My equipment is not.
Do you have any
It's
spare
not that big of a
clothes in
deal,
my
but
size?
I need something. Let's say I have like a cotton shirt and pants, and that's basically it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Say I've lived in the South for 3 years.
Yeah, so it looks like Kane lost his warm clothes when he died, so he's going to want some as well. All right, so we don't have to narrate the whole thing.
I have warm clothes. I'm good.
Same.
All right, so we don't have to narrate the whole thing, but he is going to rustle up sort of coats and such for anyone who needs them. So winter clothes weigh 3 pounds, I'll call it. Probably an underestimate, but meh. So you can go ahead and add those. Actually, Fallon, what did I say they were before? Because I think you already have them.
They're 2 pounds.
Oh, okay. Make it 2 pounds then.
Yeah, mine are 2 pounds.
Okay.
For my warm clothes.
Sounds good. Yeah. Where is... Oh, it is 10. All right. Okay, cool. So he hooks you up with that. He's like, How are you stocked on food? It's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 days there and back, plus the possibility of getting lost.
I kick Gamork a little and look at him. And Gamork growls at me. I think I have plenty of rations. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I could use a couple to just top things off and just bring me back to like an even 10. I think I've used like 2, I guess. So can I just restock my page, basically?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, I don't think you should have spent any because you've been getting food in the locations where you've been.
From them. Okay.
Actually, yeah. Like basically, I only worry about tracking food when it's likely to be a concern, such as when you're taking an extended trip through wilderness. So like, unless I specifically mention it, you can just leave it at max. But basically, if you want to carry any extra, it is going to be, I believe that rules is written, it's 2 pounds for a day of rations. Let me double check that. Yep.
If I
2
can,
pounds.
if I can check my weight, I think I can still carry like 50 pounds of food, but we don't probably need that much.
Well, Kane does look out and say, I've got 5 days of food. As you mentioned that, Maxis, he says, could you maybe carry another 5 for me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Go ahead and mark down 5 rations weighing, like keep them separate from the ones that are included in your pack. Just like extra rations weighing 2 pounds each.
I say I can't do anything with Roll20 right now, but I have it on my paper. So
Firefox seems to be working better than Chrome for me. I really might want to try that.
I don't think I have Firefox installed.
All right. So he gets done helping you with those things, and then he says, anything else you're looking for? I think it's only about... Actually, let me think here. Says, I think it's only about 10 in the morning. You can still make a pretty good day of it if you leave now. But anything else I can help you with?
What else you got?
Just general supplies, mostly.
Uh-oh. I'm good.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. Oh, he does think for a moment. Can probably spare a healing potion or 2 if you think you'll need it.
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay. If you... Anyone who can add a standard healing potion to your inventory. Weight 0.2. I went ahead and just lowered the weight of potions because it just kind of made sense to me.
Potion of healing.
Oh, whoops. I'm on Fallon's sheet, not Kane's.
I'm doing it. 0.2,
Okay.
you said?
Yeah. I accidentally added a line, but I'll just let you fix it.
Yeah, no, I used your added line.
Okay, cool.
Did you gray out my potion of alter self?
Not on purpose.
Okay, I just noticed it was gray for some reason.
Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, I guess you could always recreate the line if you needed to.
I know it's...
Okay. So at this point, Lone Hunter kind of shrugs, and he says, I mean, as I said, you're free to stay here for a bit if you need to, but If not, shall I just show you to the door?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So he takes you down sort of the hallway. It would actually be further in the direction that you already went. So he leads you back outside. You pass another room. It looks like it connected to the one that you were in, actually, but it has a door to the hallway as well. That looks like a kitchen with a small dining room attached to it. On the right, you see what appears to be like a guest room of some kind. You go around a corner and walk through another hallway that's kind of long, slopes gradually upwards, and the stone disappears and turns back into steel of the sort that was in the room that you guys first came in. So let me see here. Oh, I guess I thought I wrote something down for this, but that's fine. So he takes you into a hallway. You get sort of towards the end, and you see sort of a sealed door there. And looking at the ground, you also notice another seam in that. And he says, "All right, this is as far as I go. The 6 of you, please just continue past, and need you all to get within 10 feet of that door there. Security procedure."
Okay.
All right. We do so.
All right. So you step past, closer to the door. You see him sort of throw a lever, and then a door hisses shut, separating where he is standing from where you guys are. Then you hear another hiss in front of you, and the door that you're standing next to, which you now realize as a blast of air meets you, slides away, and you see the outside. So looking outside, first of all, you were ready for frigid cold, but it's actually surprisingly warm right now. It's definitely above freezing. And you note that it's actually raining lightly outside. And as you sort of step outside and get a sense of your surroundings and look up, you realize what Yurok was saying about the place being hidden. You actually stand inside a fairly large one, but a crevasse in the ice. So the walls of the sort of chunk of ice that you're in just ascend sheerly up to the top. There's only a few feet gap, maybe about 5 feet of a gap between the ice on either side. The surface appears to be around 30 feet up. Ahead of you, you see a series of ledges that look like they might serve as steps, but the rain and warm temperature seem to have left these incredibly slick. Behind you, the ice is sort of mottled and slopes more gently. You could imagine maybe trying to climb up that, but it could be tricky.
Okay. So how far up is this to climb out of here? How far are we probably going to have to go?
30 feet.
30
Give or
feet?
take.
Okay. So can I try going up these stairs?
You certainly can try.
I was say, is it? All right, whatever. What do I roll
You
for
just
this?
want to start like carefully climbing up?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not trying to sprint up them.
Okay.
I'd like to figure out where we are.
All right. So this is sort of just like keeping control of your body on this. So acrobatics. Please roll.
Acrobatics. Okay.
So they're icy, or
That's
they're
not bad.
So they're made of ice, and it's been raining and kind of warm, so they're incredibly slick.
That's a 20. That is not a natural 20, though.
Okay, no, that's fine. You sort of steady yourself against the wall, And you can tell as you step on it that these things are treacherous. But you manage the way up without significant difficulty.
I will, as I'm doing it, I am going to tell everybody that is real fucking dangerous. And when I get to the top, is there any place where I could anchor like a rope and toss it down to them?
Let me see. Yeah,
I mean, I don't have like a pick or something to do it, but
yeah, you look around, and there are, sort of rocks strewn about the glacier, and maybe about 20 feet the other direction from where, like, sort of on the other side of where the rest of the group is, you notice one that seems, or at least at first glance, seems to be sort of large and sturdy enough to tie a rope there.
okay. So I have 60 feet of rope, so I have like just enough, and I can even like try to pull people up as they're coming to help.
Yeah, potentially.
So I'm gonna throw a rope down to them, and I'm like, all right, don't fall.
That's the idea.
Does that mean you're climbing up?
I suppose that means I'll try and come up the rope and I'll fall on my face.
Okay, so this will be athletics for Aaron, actually, and Maxis. Just both of you roll me athletics. Since
12.
Maxis, you're sort of helping him.
I rolled a 12.
I rolled a 17. Oh wait, I have things. That's a 24.
Okay, yep, no problem. You haul him up.
Okay.
Is it acrobatics for everyone?
It's athletics all around. Actually,
Sorry.
I'll go ahead and do Kane next. Maxis, if you're still helping, then
Yeah.
just do that.
I mean, I don't know. It's Kane. I might cut the rope. No, I'm just with you. I'm not very much help though. That's a 8, and I have a +7, so that's a nat 1.
Wait, oh, you got a nat 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kane sort of starts climbing up. Let me think here. So you're sort of trying to haul him up, but the rope slips in your hands, and he sort of goes down very suddenly, has to try to steady himself. Let me see here. What is that going to be? I'll just make it another athletics. Okay. He slips on the rope as well, and sort of makes a hard fall onto the ground, taking 1 bludgeoning damage. If you want to try that again.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I muted my stuff.
Yep.
That's a little bit better. 14.
Okay. He's not quite sure whether to trust you this time, but good thing he did, because that fall seems to have taken something out of him. But you do manage to haul him up. Okay. So at this point, we'll move to... move to Fallon. Actually, so you look over after getting Kane up, Maxis, and notice that Colleen has at some point just sort of appeared next to you. Fallon, you might have noticed a little spellcasty cast action going on.
Can I give Kalina a what the hell look?
I just give you a little shrug.
Welcome to the party.
But then, so Fallon, what's the order for you and Gamork? Because Gamork
Well, if you
being
notice
a wolf.
The second one says Gamork.
Well, but
Who
Gamork
would
is
go
going to have
first?
trouble climbing in the conventional sense.
You can't piggyback, right? He goes first, I guess.
Oh, you're like carrying him over your shoulder kind of thing?
Sure.
Okay. So in that case, I never asked you for the roll, so I'm going to make you re-roll since that's my practice. So Fallon and whoever's belaying, once again, just give me athletics.
I got a nat 20.
All right.
So
Hold
that's
on.
a 27. Why does my camera not work
What is going on?
with Internet Explorer?
Well, I saw your roll. So Fallon, you manage your way up without too much difficulty. With Maxis helping, you even managed to sort of sling Gmork across your back and get both you and him up. All right, so yeah, you all managed to climb your way out without too much difficulty. Let me think. How long would that actually have taken? Probably just like 20 minutes, something like that.
And I'm going to gather my rope up and all that jazz after we get up.
Okay, cool. So let me think. The time is now around 10:30 in the morning. You probably have about, I would say, about 6 hours of travel time left in the day. You could try to press it to 8 if you really wanted to, though that might be difficult. So it is, as I said, lightly raining. Otherwise, it's fairly warm, though, which is nice. And what is that doing there? Weird. I don't know why that rolled. So just heading out.
Yep.
All right. So first of all, I need to establish a couple things. What kind of pace are you looking to set? Basically, there will be a base speed. You can go 20%. So base speed, I'm going to say, is about 2.5 miles an hour. That's a pretty normal walking clip, and the terrain is a bit challenging. You can drop that to 2 in order to attempt to move in a more stealthy manner, just like making less noise, drawing potentially less attention. Or you could up that to 3 to travel at a more strenuous pace that would physically tax you, though, which would potentially have other problems.
Not me though, right?
Not you if you're traveling alone. You're traveling with a group, so... But maybe whatever rolls I made them do might not affect you if you have a thing.
I mean, I guess I would probably let them set the pace because my pace is just naturally going to be faster than theirs. So,
sure. I mean, I guess my question is, do you want to do something other than a normal travel pace?
I'd be just as inclined to say just normal travel place.
All right.
yeah,
Because
Cool.
That's fine.
I don't think we're specifically trying to hide from anybody. So
All right, cool. And then, like, I mean, once again, in terms of like how long you spend traveling. So basically, like a standard day, normal travel would be 8 hours a day. You could push it to 10. That would potentially physically tax you a little bit more. Today, I'm saying you've already lost a little bit of time, but I'm still giving you credit for you could travel 6 hours or maybe push it to 8. What do you want to do?
Do you guys want to not stop for rests, or do we not? I mean, this might be a pressing thing. We haven't really talked about how quickly all this has to happen.
Sorry, I was reading something. I don't know, like a natural pace.
So we just go for another 6 hours and
All right.
take a rest
Sure.
after that.
Sounds
I
good.
like a plan to me.
So, final point is navigation. So, I would say like sort of 2 of you at most would probably take the lead on that. So, survival checks from 2 of you for navigation.
Okay. I mean, I have the map and compass stuff, so I'll go ahead and
Okay,
this.
and since you've walked the glacier before, I'll give you advantage on that as well.
Sweet.
So my Unearthed Arcana just says that I ignore difficult terrain. I know everyone else doesn't, but
Right. Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't suffer from the same penalties as the others if you tried to push the pace.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I might like
not,
skip around them and stuff. And
it's not awesome. I got a
Act like it's not
14
bothering me.
for my survival.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Yeah, so you do at least feel fairly confident that you know where you're at on the glacier. You're setting the right bearing.
I rolled as well.
And actually, Fallon, sort of looking over the map with Maxis, you think it's around 40 miles that you have to go. So yeah, so let me see here. I have to do a little bit of math. So it's going to be... Or actually, wait a minute. Okay. So yeah, so you start walking across the glacier. It's pretty boring for the most part. There are some rocks, there's some snow, although at many points you can feel that the snow under your feet is pretty thin. You can feel the hard ice that you're walking on. But then after about, so you walk for a few hours, you break, then you walk a bit more, and then as you get to about the 7th mile, Maxis, you hear a crack as your foot steps down on the ice. You become instantly cautious. You shout to the others to stop. You take a step back, ease yourself to the ground, and sort of scrape the snow away from the ice. And you see exactly what you were fearing, which is meltwater under the surface. About 100 feet of you, 100 feet ahead of you, you see rocky ground that's probably safe, but you judge that reaching it could be pretty dangerous. So you're left with a choice between braving the ice, maybe finding some creative way past, or potentially losing time traveling one direction or the other to find a safe crossing. And actually,
Are you going all Oregon Trail on us?
I mean, there's not any, like, guarantee that it's going to be better elsewhere, though, right?
well, I mean, just the general judgment that there aren't, like, rivers that cross the glacier. So probably if you went far enough, you could eventually find a safe crossing. But you don't have a great idea about how far that would be, is the problem.
Okay. Well, there are there's a little bit of meltwater right here, which is dangerous because we do not know how deep this water is. And if you guys get your clothes wet, you're probably gonna freeze to death. So, and yeah, and it's thin. This is going to be very dangerous to cross if we cross it. Should we look for a way around, or are we risking going over it? I mean, at least one of us could very well just poof places, apparently. So I don't know how you guys want to play this.
I unfortunately have not yet learned how to
Cast
fly.
poof.
Formal request for you to rename your spell to just poof instead of the proper name.
Clean.
I'm thinking. Sorry.
What if I tied a rope to Gamork and did that one spell where I shoot Gamork in an arrow? Would he pull me along?
I'm thinking similarly.
Wait, are you asking me that?
I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay.
You can answer if you want.
It was an infallible voice. I'm assuming it's to God.
I mean, I don't know. Does anyone here have magical abilities?
Hi.
Can
Don't
you
think
maybe refreeze the water? I don't do the
Wait.
magics.
Look, this is liquid water, right?
Underneath the ice, yeah.
The very same.
Because I do have a water walk.
For real.
Look at that water walk.
I happen to have the exact spell for this exact occasion. Now that you mention it.
I mean,
Can you cast that on multiple people?
Concentration, so I think it's just one at a time.
Also, Casey, can I still breathe water?
What are you, a fish?
No, don't worry about it.
Makes sense.
I think
Wait,
so.
no, up to 10 people.
Oh,
I can
Because
cast on all of them.
they added the
So-
swimming, but I didn't know it.
So yes, I can cast it on all of us.
let me double check.
Sick.
Oh,
Turns
is it
out
up
being
to-
master of the elements is handy.
up to 10 creatures.
Up
Interesting.
to 10.
I am checking your thing, Maxis.
Well, you just what
yes.
you told.
The answer is
Okay.
yes.
I just can't give it to other people, is what I thought you said, but I was making sure. So we can just walk across this bitch. God, I love magic. I
Magic is
don't
awesome.
want to put any time in learning to do it, but I love that you can do it. I'm into that.
Oh, come on. Really?
So how long does this take? One action? Oh shit.
For crying out loud. Alright. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, duration 1 hour. Alright, so is the plan just you're going to cast that on all of them and hopefully that should handle things if any bad stuff happens?
Sure, why
Yeah.
not? Sounds like a plan.
Can I take off? Yeah, no, that's fine. We're gonna leave it as is.
Okay.
I was considering taking off my clothes so that I don't get them wet if I fall in, but it'll be all right.
Okay. Now, are you normal casting or ritual casting that, Aaron?
What's the difference?
Ritual casting takes an extra 10 minutes, but doesn't consume a spell slot. Or you can cast it as an action and consume a spell slot.
Let's just do it ritual.
Okay.
Might need the spell slot later.
All right, so let me see here.
Considering this is not an urgent, we must run across the water now, or else we're going to get smashed by a boulder kind of moment.
Yeah,
May as well take the slot.
so just for shits and giggles, Fallon, Colleen, were either of you the Kane controller for when he was out?
Oh, I'm Kane, I think.
Okay, we'll just stick with that for now. So I've just given you control
Yeah.
over Kane. So just for shits and giggles, we're going to go ahead and do this anyway. So just let me get this up. Just everybody roll initiative.
Oh dear.
Can't believe Roll20's been working this long.
I got an
Blah, blah.
Did you handicap my rolls?
Oh geez, I got a 10.
So you got a
Do I have
10,
something that helps me with
Fallon.
initiative?
You rolled initiative for Kane, and then I rolled it also.
I got a 7. Yay!
And then Colleen has a 12.
I forgot to click on my token.
No, I haven't rolled mine yet.
Normally.
Oh, I thought I saw it right there. Initiative, 12.
Yeah, I rolled for Kane, and then
Oh, I see.
but your roll for Kane was definitely better. But now it's 12.
Oh, sorry, I didn't click my guys because I didn't scroll down to see them.
Yeah, that's
my bad.
fine. Let me see. Gmork is 18. Aaron is 7.
Big roll.
And what was Maxis?
I got a 10. I can redo it for this if you need to, but
Why would you redo it? That's fine. I got you in there. All right, so there's everybody. So rules for this is just for your movement, just move, like each square is 5 feet. So just only move horizontally and vertically. Don't like move diagonal. So like if your speed is 30, you get 6 movements on your turn. And just move, and I'll let you know if anything happens. So it's
I
more
dislike
first.
that you made us roll initiative for having to walk across this. It strikes me as a bad thing.
It's just a neutral way to establish turn order.
Uh-huh.
So Gmork.
Sorry.
oh shit, my bad. I'm counting how many I can do.
Yep.
I need a measure, don't I?
Just like click on the token and then
Oh, that would have been
hit
so
up,
much.
down, hit up, down, left, right 6 times. Or 8 times, I think, because his speed is 40. Or up to that many.
He did it.
Okay, Mork walks out onto the ice. Nothing happens. Kane.
Walks out on the ice. Gets eaten by an ice alligator.
That would be the Kane thing to do.
All right. Do move 1 square at a time because your path actually matters. So, like I said, just move with arrow keys if you can.
Yeah, I did, but it doesn't relay it
Oh, that's awkward.
immediately.
Okay, Maxis. Okay.
So you could hear all the things and
yeah.
just shut up.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, Fallon. Okay. Aaron. Okay. Colleen.
How is walking across a pond so fucking tense?
Because there's no reason he would have made us roll initiative unless he was going to try and screw with us.
All right. It's
As a rule, it's like he made us roll initiative. It's like something bad is going to happen.
Well, if we weren't
It's a
water
matter of
walking,
when.
it would be a lot worse. But
Yep.
You're not wrong.
So are we walking into the water area now, or are we
You're
walking...
on thin ice basically, and it's more.
It turns out going for very thematic spells instead of strictly strong spells is working out brilliantly so far. I like him like a thunder lightning
euphemisms
dude.
to talk to us. You're on thin ice.
Thunder lightning dude. I should probably be able to walk on water, right? Sure. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, it's useful.
Walk on water. I'm never gonna be mad about that. Walk on water is a pretty dope spell, and breathe water. All of that's super useful.
Don't have breathe water.
Okay.
I don't even know if I can
Kane.
take it.
I don't know who gets that. Druids, maybe?
Oh, I would assume druids. I don't seem to have the option for that, which makes sense.
I am starting to think that maybe we should be doing this single file. I say to the group at large.
Yeah, but if you're single file, if you get too close and the hole opens up, then you all fall in the hole.
Yeah, but we walk on water after that. I mean,
Yeah,
the ice
but also
isn't
the
much of
closer
a
you get
problem.
together, the more likely you are to
Maxis.
smash the ice. And while walking water fixes many things, it doesn't necessarily help us if there is an ice alligator under the water.
Wait,
Oh,
was that-
you're 40.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. All right, Fallon. All right, Aaron.
I think I moved 6 places.
Hold on. All right, so since you walked straight, you get to this point.
Okay.
And let me see here. I'll have you make the save anyway. Give me a DC 19 dexterity save. Or excuse me, why'd I give you the DC? Give me a dexterity save.
I mean, oh, hey, 19.
Oh, brilliant.
I feel like, well, this is not going to go well because I have no dex bonus, but hey, 19.
All right, so you step there and you hear a loud crack, and just sort of reflexively, you...
I shriek and jump out of the way.
Yeah, you sort of just jump forward and continue on to where you were going, but there's now a gaping hole in the ice right there.
Lovely.
Okay. Colleen?
Can I make a perception check and see if there's any kind of nasty ice piranhas that tried to eat me before I didn't
Sure.
fall in? 9.
You don't see anything.
Seeing the ice crack, I'm gonna cast a flicker on myself as I move forward.
Okay. I have to remember what that does.
I can use my reaction to teleport.
Okay.
I think I might actually be able to use Roll20 now.
All right, cool. Gamork? Hold on. Yeah, right there. That one right there. So Gamork steps ahead, and I need Gamork to also give a dexterity saving throw. Okay, yep. Gamork also sort of jumps forward as a hole opens up under his feet, but does manage to skip away from it. All right, cool. Kane. Are you moving, Kane?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's Kane. All right, cool. Maxis.
I hate this thing so much.
All right, Fallon. All right. Ernan. Okay, Colleen.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to teleport 5 feet.
Okay. And since...
Oh, we have bonus actions in this stuff?
Yeah.
I think I can dash now.
Oh, yeah. I probably should have taken dash, but oh well.
Yeah, you could have been doing it this whole time. That's fine. All right, Kane.
Kane's going to dash.
All right.
This.
Yep, actually totally fine. Maxis.
Relaxes.
You judge yourself safe at this point. Fallon.
Sick.
2. Okay, so hold on. I can do my normal movement and then dash?
Yeah, so it's like you get your normal movement twice if you dash. Okay. Ernan. Okay, yep, you're good. Clean.
The last one was a teleport.
Okay, sounds good. And actually at this point, you managed to dodge the other one, so I'll go ahead and just end it here. But hey, you know, I burned a couple fun spells, which should be amusing later. All right. So yeah, you get, you know, it caused a little bit of consternation, but you made your way across the ice. A couple things that might have been close calls, although you were able to walk on water. So let me see here. So that's just going to be like this. So, okay. So yeah, so you continue on. Again, there's really not a whole lot here. As the day goes on, the sun does sort of dip beneath the clouds, and you see that kind of I forget. There's actually a name for it. Do you know what? You know that thing where the light almost seems solid coming through a gap in the clouds?
A pillar of
Beam?
light.
Yeah, you kind of get that sort of thing going
Shaft.
on. Yeah, you get shafted. And it's pretty, at least, even though the landscape is pretty bleak. But yeah, you continue on, sort of take another break, walk a little further, and then, let me see here. Right. So this is going to be... Okay, actually.
Crepuscular rays.
Yes, that is it. Okay. So yeah, and that about concludes. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. Is this at all right? That's. No, I'm sorry. I did some bad math. Okay, so yeah, so you continue on for about an hour and a half past the ice river. For the last few miles, you've been following a path that sort of runs between two squat little peaks. If you were feeling very generous, you might call them mountains. Certainly it would be unpleasant to try to cross them. Then you crest a ridge, and once again, sort of you sigh a bit as you realize the next challenge that's facing you. Beyond where you stand, the ground slopes steeply downward. It's just a giant sheet of ice that's scattered with boulders. If you tried to walk down it, you might be able to make your way down, but if you slipped, then at best you'd make a painful stop against a boulder. And at worst, you might tumble all the way to the base and get splattered or buried. And actually, if there was an avalanche from one of those small peaks, that could make things even worse. Looking to the left and right, you notice that the slope does become more gradual to the north. There's a sort of path, although it might be more correct to just call it a ledge that hugs the base of the mountain. That might be the more prudent way to go, and though it'll waste a little bit of time, you can see the way down pretty clearly. The southern path seems even more forgiving. The flat area is wider, the peak is shorter, but you can't see an end to the slope in that direction, and who knows how many miles you'd have to go to find a path down. So you're left with sort of a choice of which way to try to go here.
So what are the odds of me surviving if I just sled down this on a shield?
The odds of unpleasantness are high. The odds of survival are probably decent. Or actually, I mean, I'm being kind of vague. If you want to give me a survival check, I can.
All right, I got you.
Oh, hey, you know what? I just read further on in my Unearthed Arcana that difficult terrain does not slow your group's travel.
Oh, your group's travel?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, that doesn't want to work anymore. 11, 15.
Okay. It would be a challenge if, largely because of all of those rocks, you might make a painful stop against one. If you manage to actually slide all the way down, then so long as you got lucky and there wasn't like more thin ice or something, then it could work. I mean, it's just like sledding down a really treacherous hill, basically. And you have kind of an improvised sled, which could pose other difficulties.
So it was safer to the north?
It's going to be a plan B.
Yeah, so basically it's a situation where if you go north, you can tell that you're going to lose Well, if you want a more exact estimate, you can give me a survival check, but you'll lose a little bit of distance, but you'll have a somewhat safer way down. The south looks a lot safer, but you can't actually see a way down from where you're standing.
Hi, Kane.
North. Go north.
Hello.
Dear
Hey.
God, it's wind tunnel.
He's on push to talk, I think.
Okay.
He's on push to talk.
Anyways, hey there. You actually, I can tell you about it later, but your party actually made it all the way to the glacier really quickly, and now you're. It's where the place that you're going is.
So, with the revelation that I read on the Unearthed Arcana that difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel, does that help with our estimated
Arrival time.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Our ETA.
Let me do some quick math.
Oh God, please don't math.
Actually, it does. So let me. Okay, let me do some quick adjustments here real quick, because that actually means that I've been having you traveling at 2.5 miles an hour, but you would actually be going at more like 3. So congratulations, Fallon. You lead the group across just only the best paths through the wilderness. So that means I need to.
Regardless, we're probably going to have 2 days of this, right?
At least, for sure. So that reduces that to that. And. Okay. All right. I've got everything adjusted. So I'm giving you credit for a little bit of extra distance. Lols.
It's my daughter's Komodo dragon from the zoo.
That's brilliant.
I can't see anything.
So sad. Okay, so we were discussing which way you guys were going to go. I said if you want to estimate how much distance you'd lose by taking the north route, feel free to give me a survival check. Otherwise, yeah, just talk it out.
I feel like we should try to get there as quickly as possible, but going directly down this hill seems like a death trap.
I say we go to the north, try a safer route.
Is that going to put much distance on our travel time?
You can give me that survival check if you want to try to estimate that. You can see where it goes down. It's just a matter of trying to estimate how much walking is actually involved.
Well, that's a 7, so probably not.
Yeah, so Maxis, you look at it, and you think it's like a mile or 2 maybe that you're going to lose. You have a little trouble estimating the vertical element of it. But then Fallon, you look out, and your eyes trace the entire path, and you sort of point out a different way down the slope to Maxis, and realize you're only actually going to lose about an hour about a mile going this direction. There's sort of a natural little switchback thing going on where you can sort of scuttle down the rocks from one side to another. The only trick is that it is a little bit treacherous still. Not as bad as going straight down the slope, but you're going to have to be careful.
And I say, follow me. Trust the ranger.
Fair enough.
Good enough reason for me.
All right, cool. So let's see. Fallon, if you are leading the group, then please give me a survival check for finding the best way down. All right.
Of all the times.
to find an elevator. Tell me I found an elevator.
Ding.
Guys, I don't know what this is, but I think we can get down.
20th floor. Going down. No. All right. So yeah, Fallon, as you sort of approach the mountain, shall we say, or the little peak, it lays bare its secrets to you, and you glance and see just the perfect path down that, you're pretty sure if you ever met your grandma, you could lead her down that fairly easily. That being said, there's still some ice and slickness going on. So everybody give me your choice of athletics or acrobatics for
please
making
give
your
me
way
a
down.
1. I'll laugh so hard. Oh, that was actually fucking close as shit. All right. 9. Don't tempt the dice gods. They'll fuck you up.
Kane, I'm not fooled. Give me a different check.
Hey man, alphabet. Oh god. Hey, I'm back, guys. I'm here.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Hey, at least I rolled a 2.
All right, looking for Ernan and Colleen and Gmork.
Sorry.
So what's this about
Sorry,
stairs?
I was giving my real life Gamork his treats.
Oh, all right, that's cool.
That is a 7.
He is a good boy.
All right.
Hey, I'm not gonna die
Hey, I'm not
alone.
the worst.
Okay. Actually, Kane, you can go ahead and be grateful that Gmork rolled a nat 20. Because, Kane, you've done this before. I mean, not going down an icy mountain, but just like generally picking your way through treacherous locations. And you just sort of let yourself fall back into it, sort of stop paying attention. And the next thing you know, you've stepped on a patch of ice, your foot has slipped out from under you, and you feel yourself sliding off the edge of this little narrow ledge that you're walking on. And just as the rush of adrenaline hits you, you feel yourself stop, and you look up and find Gmork with his jaws sort of clamped around the scruff of your coat. Gmork, I want Gmork to give me just a strength check.
I'm not heavy.
Strength check. Please re-roll that.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's fine.
No, that's what I did. I rolled the wrong thing, and I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
No.
So the rest of you look over and see Gmork sort of holding Kane off the edge of this cliff, but you see his feet sort of slipping as he's straining with the weight.
How close is he? Can I grab the dog?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or him? Okay. Do I just a strength check for that?
Are you going for Gmork or Kane? Gmork is right in front of you. Kane, you would have to reach around to grab him.
I'd probably just grab the dog.
Okay.
And just
He's a night wolf. Fallon yells, "Save yourself, Gamok!"
Go ahead and give me a strength check, Maxis.
Okay.
With advantage since you're helping Gmork.
All right. That is a 16.
Okay. You wrap your arms around Gmork and straining a little bit more than you thought you'd have to, but you manage to haul Gmork sort of back against the ledge, who keeps his hold on Kane, and Kane, eventually they pull you up enough that you can sort of get your arms under you and scrabble your way back onto the ledge.
That's a heavy-ass dog. All right.
Wolf. But thank you. Thank you, Gmork. Thank you. Who is that? Who just helped me, save me?
Me, Maxis. Sorry, my bad.
Thanks, Rexus.
No problem. Strange blue man.
Strange gray man.
Bluish gray. I kind of imagine it. Anyone here ever watch Farscape?
A little bit.
Do you know Chiana?
Who was she? Any descriptions?
I don't.
Oh, no, you're talking about. Never mind.
Yeah. I kind of imagine your skin tone like hers.
That's
Anywho.
the one with the Boom Raji, right?
Boom Raji.
You said Farscape, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'll find it.
You hush.
Okay. So you beyond that point, you actually had already made it about halfway down the cliff at the point that Kane slipped. You managed to pick your way the rest of the way down. So let me see here. Call it that. All right, so I have to work out how much travel time we have left. So you guys have gone. Okay, so yeah, and at that point you continue on for a few more miles before the sun has become quite low on the horizon. You find sort of a little rock formation that is sheltered from the elements somewhat. It doesn't go back too deep. You can tell pretty clearly that you're alone in there, and you set yourselves up a little camp for the night.
So where are we going, fam?
We're going that way.
Okay, thanks.
As you can tell, I'm the master tracker of the group.
I can't remember.
Oh, did me and Keelan explain to anyone else? We had this conversation like completely separately from everyone.
Yeah, I don't even remember out of character, so.
Well, everybody's here now.
Hello.
I feel like you didn't. So
Yeah. We are going to a palace of ice made by the old Goliath general, the original, basically. I don't remember his name. But
you can call him Cliffbreaker or General Kasiru.
Yeah, the Cliffbreaker. It's on these ice. Or at least Heelan thinks that there is
Colleen, by the way.
Oh, Colleen, my bad. Thinks that there is a object there. I don't know. I don't remember what you said that you thought was in there.
Was it an amulet?
Yeah, it was the Amulet of Foresight.
Amulet of Foresight? Yeah, I know it was the Foresight part, but I forgot what trinket it was.
Yep.
So that's where we're going. Probably should have explained that before we left, but...
That sounds pretty chill.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite chill.
It is.
Speaking of which, do you still have the notes the Scribes of Venice gave us?
Yeah, I do.
Gave us.
The copy of the book?
Yeah. Can I have those?
For how long?
Just for a little while.
No, I don't mind. And then I'll let him look at them.
Alright, I take the notes and I pull out the book and I start looking through them both.
Wait. Oh, that's right, because you actually got both. Okay. I mean, so the notes that you have are just, like, actually the majority of the journal, but you notice a few spots where they chose to skip some stuff. So reading through, like, how do you want to do this? Are you just starting at the beginning and reading straight through? Are you skipping all the way to the end? Or are you trying to like skim it first and get a sense of like what kind of material is in different places? Like, what's the plan here?
I would like to skim it to see kind of how the journal flows, and then I would like to look more specifically at the beginning and end.
Okay. So glancing first at the beginning, it looks like the journal sort of starts with the settlement of Anandgrun. You see a few words from him at the very beginning about what happened before that, but there's really not very much. So it very rapidly skips to the early days of setting up the settlements, then moves on to the exploration of Anandgrun. It looks like he may have gone out either with a small group or solo to sort of map out the land during the early days. Then it moves on to the establishment of the various territories. So you read some stuff about setting up the central government, about marking the boundaries of the Goliath territory. Then it skips to later years, and there's a fair bit of stuff. So there's like a few things there. There's first of all just him sort of interacting with his people and living out some of his later years there. Though towards the end, it looks like there's a lot of details missing, but some odd stuff may have happened around there.
All right, I want to focus on the odd stuff as I study the book.
Okay. Let me see here.
Which are the book and the notes, like, are they written word for word the same, basically?
That's also what I was looking at, was if the scribes were lazy or hiding any information from me.
Oh, I see. Well, so as you look at specific sections, I can let you know if those are in the copy that you got. So do you want to look at, so there's sort of two approaches I can imagine here. You can either look at like the actual end, like see what seems to be the last entry, or you can look a little bit before that, which might be harder to sort through, but try to find something interesting there.
Let's go for the hard one.
Okay. Give me, what is this going to be? It's like academics, whatever that is. I guess history. Give me a history check. Okay, cool. So you find the following. I need like some mood music for this.
Oh, that sounds scary.
Sure, we'll go with that. It's not perfect, but we'll go with it. Mount Karam. And let me remind you what Mount Karam is, actually. So the first few words of this refer to this peak right here. So you would know this to be a large volcanic peak, and it's also the source of the second largest river. Mount Karam is a confluence. I'm more than fortunate to have escaped alive, much less with those most important of my possessions intact. Much less with these writings. It is impossible that I should tell all that happened. My task now is too urgent and the days too short. I record here only the most important details, that those who might read will understand what they need to understand. Mount Karam is a labyrinth. Skilled though I am, I doubt not that I would have lost my way and finally succumbed to the fire, had I not my stone to guide me. Beneath the mountain there are ways to the Feywild, ways I doubt not to the Shadowfell, ways to the elemental planes. I found my way to the plane of fire. I am not well adjusted to such locales, but I still have strength within me. I survived. I've seen the city of brass, a golden city shimmering over the sea of fire. I've seen its grandeur, its cruelty, its vice. I was fortunate to meet Leos first. Leos is an Azer, a creature of earth and fire, whose people crafted the city of brass before they were betrayed by the Afridi. He needed to recover certain possessions from the Afridi, and his plan required a fool. I was the fool. He was fair. After my job was complete, he rewarded me with 2 choices from his collection of gemstones. I consulted my stone, then selected a purple gem that Leos tells me holds within it the power to craft a grand palace, a place of power and magic limited only by the imagination. I asked him why he would allow me even the chance to select such a kingly gift. He told me that to use it was bane to the spirit. I also selected a pale pink gem for which I felt an inexplicable attraction. Leos tells me it bears no magic at all. I left the mountain, following markers I had made on the way in. They had already faded substantially, as though the rock itself was alive and healing from the wounds I had left it on my way in. I do not advise any to attempt to retrace my steps. And that's probably the most interesting entry
That was dramatic.
found there.
How does it compare with the notes the scholars gave us?
Or
Or is it even in it?
Yeah, let me think real quick. It's there. You see it completely reproduced.
Just give an audible, huh?
So, are you trying to hide that you have the actual book?
Not at all.
Okay.
I just pull it out in front of you and start going through stuff.
Would you mind me borrow the book after you're done with it? At the very least, I would like to finish the copy. That way I can have a copy of his words. I don't particularly, because I'm planning on, for the DM, I guess, I'm planning on reading this entire book. Like, I am going to spend time, like, reading all of it, not just, like,
Sure.
picking out interesting information, I guess.
Got it.
So,
All right, I'll keep that in mind sort of as you have downtime.
yeah. But,
And,
basically...
and as you have access to it.
Right. No.
Sure, you can have it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So do you just hand everything over to him clean? Do you hold on to either the...
Well,
notes?
and if he's still looking through it, I am gonna I'm gonna wait until we've finished.
It is she.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Until we are actually, like, finished planning, I guess.
Sure.
And then...
Well, it does seem like we are on the trail of both a creation stone and a artifact of Alcadia. So that's a good start.
I wonder if he hid both in the same place, or if he would have split them up. Would I know if he was buried inside the palace?
History.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad. 17 plus 1, 18.
One of the details that you still remember from the story is that the place is regarded to be his final resting place.
Okay. So I know that he was buried there, so he might have placed both in his burial chamber, or he very well could have hid them. I mean, if it is a labyrinth or a palace created by magic, he very well could have created all kinds of traps and hidden spaces to hide these valuable artifacts. I guess we'll see when we get there. And then when he's done with the actual notes, I'm going to start.
I'm just going to keep correcting you on this. Don't worry
Start.
about it.
Eventually, I will probably maybe get it.
Yep.
But after she's done with the notes, I'm going to probably take them and read them as we eat and settle down for the night and all that.
Okay, so Colleen, would you fork them back over to Maxis at this point? Would you want to hold on to them for a while longer?
I'll give them to him, and I'm gonna work on the arcane lock spell.
Okay, let me think. That one takes 4 hours for you to do?
I believe so.
Okay, you could get that done during the night, I would say. So go ahead and just credit yourself with that, considering you only need 4 hours. Elves. So let me see here. So I mean, that's what I'm trying to remember. It's like 200. No, it's 100 gold, I think.
Yeah,
all right,
I deducted it.
Cool. Okay, so Maxis, I will say that, like, sort of glancing through the journal, you sort of acquaint yourself with the same general structure as what Colleen saw. Now, like, did you just want to, like, start looking through it, like, just start reading straight from the beginning? Did you want to look at anything in particular?
Not really. I'm planning on just reading it from the beginning. So
okay,
I'm not particularly looking anything besides. I mean, I would have helped earlier with like finding the stuff, but I just plan on reading it at this point.
Okay. Then in that case, I will go ahead and also give you sort of the introductory section to the journal. So here is what you read sort of at the beginning. And this is basically the only bit of the journal that talks about his life before he went to Einangrun. My life prior to the pilgrimage to Einangrun, there is little I wish to say. I was a traitor to my people. Was I not a traitor, a hand of the Javit? Things may have been worse for them. Another more craven, another more cruel, another less adept at sparing innocent life and happiness may have taken my place. My disloyalty put me in a place to do great service, and I thank fate or the gods or whatever else for that chance. But I can have no pride in this. I will tell only the story of how I received my name, as it captures well the story of those years. Those were the days of my first command, a group of Goliath scouts under Javit command. Tough and capable as they are, few Dragonborn can match the prowess of Goliaths in the northern tundra. I had been sent out to seek a ragtag group of guerrillas, and that's like G-U-E-R, a splinter band of Goliaths seeking life outside Javit rule. The Javit would not have it, and I knew that in the end they would win. I tracked the band far north of Melchizedek, which I will go ahead and briefly switch over to this map and show you where that is. So he's saying that he was tracking them north of this location, sort of in the northwest, to a cave hidden between ice-covered peaks. I and a few of my band sneaked to the top of the peaks, and fortune favored us, or else disfavored us, with a golden opportunity. Most of the people left the cave and ventured west, seeking water and game. Their leaders and a handful of others remained behind. From their position below, they had failed to realize how precarious the ice and snow above them was. I smote it with my axe, and they were buried in an avalanche. And from that day on, my name was Cliffbreaker. Cliffbreaker who had sacrificed the few defiant to enslave the many. Because that's life. My reputation as an unparalleled guide through the northern lands grew, however, as did my reputation as a ruthless enforcer of the Javit agenda. In the end, this proved fortunate when, on an expedition to Titor's Peak, right here, we discovered the magical looking glass Saphira. The Dragonborn commander, Sanakokas Gesero, proved a more honorable man than me. and I can only hope that my actions since that time serve somewhat to redeem me. Beyond that, you do read some stuff about the early settlement of Anadrun, which roughly matches some things that you already know, just based on your knowledge of the history. And from there, it gets to him sort of setting out to explore, but that's about as far as you get before it's like time to be wrapping up and getting some sleep.
All right.
Okay. Anyone else during this time? Anything that you want to discuss? Anything that you want to do as you're winding up for sleep?
No.
Gnome salt. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Gnome salts.
Roll that d20.
Ooh. Suddenly, a giant chasm opens up around Kane.
No.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Don't kill me again, Casey.
Fowlin,
Uh-huh.
do you go to the back of the cave or outside or to near the entrance? Where are you doing this?
I guess kind of right outside the entrance.
Okay. You look out, and at first you see mostly just blackness as the sun is set over the glacier, and as my music ended because I forgot to loop it. And then, sort of, as the high kicks in, it sort of washes into a nice blue color, and from there into a sort of purple, and you see streaks of yellow, almost like snakes, go slithering across the landscape. And you think you hear a voice at the back of your mind. Give me... This is going to be some kind of check. Give me a wisdom saving throw. Okay. You don't make out the first few words of it, if they are indeed words, but you get this faint sense of dread, and you sort of wall it off. And you don't hear what else it says until the last words, which are, "I'm still here." You shake it off. You try to recover that sense of peace that normally accompanies your trips. And you find yourself unable to really shake your mind until you think of pineapple, and you just focus on the pineapple. And then the contentment settles back over, and you write out the end of it.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else? Anyone?
Oh, I'm gonna mark off one of the rations for Kane.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Wait, what?
I'm carrying food for you because you can't carry it. Or I'm
Oh
carrying
yeah, I'm
it
comfort.
for you actually.
Actually, let me.
Got 2 copper pieces.
Yeah, everybody mark down rations except for Kane because Maxis is carrying yours.
Thank you, large gray bluish man.
He's
No
just
problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, Colleen sort of stays up, working on her journal a bit. But otherwise, you guys, do the usual wilderness drill. Keep some eyes out, but it's a pretty quiet night. Nothing too much on the tundra. And soon enough, you see the sun peak back up over the horizon. So anything you're looking to do in the morning or talk about, or are you just going to sort of perhaps get some breakfast and get going on your way?
Is there snow? I assume all around, or is it just hard ice?
So you look out. The weather today is clear, actually. So it rained yesterday, which made things a bit slick. But today seems totally clear. It has gotten quite a bit colder during the night. So probably about 10 Fahrenheit. So I think that's like minus 11 Celsius, something like that. So definitely with the warm coats and such that you have, it's doable. But it might be a little unpleasant.
Okay. I was gonna ask Kane if he wanted to build a snowman, but there's no snow.
Wait,
I mean, there is snow just like on the ground, just not coming down. Might be.
I'm down to build a snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman?
So Kane, Kane, do you want to build a snowman?
Totes. Let's do it.
So Kane and
All
I
right.
build a snowman.
You know what?
before we
I won't
leave.
impose any penalty. This is just what you're doing while you're getting ready.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I prestidigitate a better snowman.
Hey,
You can
none of that
prestidigitate a
magic
very tiny and fleeting snowman.
A beautiful, beautiful snowflake.
I step on it.
All right.
Rude.
I don't know if this is quite the right one, but there's no perfect one for snowman building. So give me both a performance check for snowman building.
God damn it.
Okay.
Same.
What the hell? I'll make one too.
All right. Yeah.
I got a 4.
Honestly, Kane, you build a pretty darn
Wait,
good
I
snowman.
want to add one thing. Can I try and sculpt a snowman in the shape of Johan?
Yes.
How about I make a snowman?
On an 18, yes. That being said, you guys know that you have to get going unless you actually want to waste travel time building snowmen. So they are kind of small snowmen.
Right, that's fine.
Hey, I know that guy.
But Kane, give me a religion check. Okay.
Yep.
You
Sorry.
forget exactly what the symbol of Karulu looks like, but you trace some vines sort of on the front of the snowman, trying to make something that sort of looks like Johan's shield. Actually, you know what? Maxis.
Yeah.
Give me investigation.
That's not very good. Okay. Oh, that's not a 19.
Okay. You look over at the snowman that Kane is creating, and it's vague. It's kind of hard to tell, but something about what he's making reminds you of the guy that you met in the forest a while ago.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over and take a look at it, and I'm gonna be like, is this a person?
Yes.
Is that Johan?
Let's kind of look at you. How do you know about me, buddy?
What do you mean he was your buddy? Are you the guy that met the blue bullshit underground?
How many blue people do you know?
Yeah, he talked to Johan, all right. I can tell.
Oh, that's you guys. That's fucking weird. Yeah, I met this guy in the forest. We fought some hellhounds, had an acid trip. It was weird, but
When?
I mean, as far as I know, he's safe in onset. Was last time I saw him anyway.
When was this?
Huh?
When was this?
DM. I mean, how much?
I think it was about like a month ago. No.
When did Johan disappear?
I'm sorry, it was less than that. It was less than that. It was like 2 weeks ago.
About a couple weeks.
When did Johan disappear?
Close to the time he's indicating. So from what he's suggesting, he would have seen Johan rather shortly after you last saw him.
What did he say?
And he came back to us?
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, why hasn't he come back?
Apparently, he got eaten by something or another, and he was a little on the freaked out side about, the end of the world being nigh and all that bullshit. But instead of, I guess, coming back or continuing on with me in the forest or anything like that, he stayed in onset to take care of his wife. He might have had a child or been wanting a child or his wife pregnant. I don't know. There was a lot of family. I got
Gaines like a child
that night. What? Sorry.
Did he say anything? You said you had an acid trip. Did he say anything during that?
I don't think he had anything to do with that. That was more. That was in the middle of fighting a hellhound right after I killed it. So that might have had more to do with that than him being there.
But he didn't say anything.
No.
Wasn't Johan taking mistresses when he was with us?
We don't know that, I don't think. Like, in character.
I think we do.
What's the point?
Yeah, but you were... No, you just weren't with us because you were in space jail.
What are you talking about?
I do think that he went back to the temple by himself, if I remember correctly.
But it's not like... I thought we knew what he was doing.
Okay, I mean, I'm really not sure at this point, so...
Don't
and he's not
shatter Kane's image of Johan.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Talking about Colleen, Johan wouldn't do such thing.
Well, I don't know about that, but he didn't go drinking with me that night and said that he was gonna go to home, basically.
I guess his family, that's a good reason to not come back, but...
I mean, not to be a defense, or not to be too defensive about the whole quest thing. This is... I mean, it's not really gonna help, at least right now, with the whole invasion of demon thing. So if you have people to protect, I kind of understand not.
Kane's mind drifts back to the... I forget the name of the city now. Never mind.
Do you start fumbling with rope in your hands or something? No.
I'm trying to think of the city. Where are you from again, Colleen?
Tindus.
Yeah.
Kane's mind drifts back to Tindas as he mentions people to protect.
Okay.
So we have snowmen. Johan's alive and didn't tell anyone. Kane has
I
mixed
mean-
emotions about this.
It's only been a couple of weeks. He also might not have any way to get to you or know where you are.
He could have found a way. I storm off.
I'm sure he would have just happened upon Tavra's lair.
I'm already gone.
I said it loudly as you walked away, so you had to have heard
I'm
it.
ignoring you.
I'll run off with Kane because I'm excited to go places.
All right. So at this point, you've all sort of just been having a little side adventure before, maybe procrastinating getting going in the morning. But, you sort of gather your things up as Colleen and Kane go running off and catch up with them quickly. Fallon, you jump back in the lead along with Maxis. Both of you give me your survival rolls for navigation. Is that something that you have any kind of advantage on or not?
Let me look.
Nope.
Is this
No, it is not.
terrain?
I'm not gonna be a whole lot of help on this one. That's a 5.
It
Okay.
says we can't become lost except for by magical means.
Okay. All right. So you're not gonna go wandering off in a crazy direction. You just might have trouble finding the most efficient route. Got it. Okay. So. Yeah, I'll just do it that way. Okay. So you get going for the day. You do, after sort of going to sleep, having to get your bearings again. Also just the annoyance of it being colder. You do have a little bit, like you take some minor wrong directions and have to course correct at a few different points. And I need to check something. Let me see. There we go.
How many miles away did he say it was? 30?
About 40 is what
Okay.
you figured out. All right.
How far?
And as
how
this
far
is
did
your
we get?
second day of travel, I need everybody in the group to make an athletics check. Maxis, Fallon, Gmork all have advantage on this.
Are you sure you mean acrobatics
Damn
there,
it.
Casey?
Every time I have advantage.
Ooh, that's a 27.
Oh, shit.
Out of 10.
All right.
Solid 8.
Okay, cool.
And that was my second roll, so thank God for advantage.
All right. So yeah, and you all, stay reasonably, you're in good condition. Traveling through the increased cold today doesn't seem to have too much effect on folks. Okay, so you travel for about 5 miles. So let me see, that's gonna be okay. All right. And around about mile 18, you're walking past, just another, random, chunk of ice with some snow, some small rocks. When, you sort of look over and notice near you, water running down a little shelf of rock and think, that's kind of odd. You look at the ground, too, and notice that the snow looks kind of melty there. And that is when a large creature bursts out from the ground in front of you.
Hell yeah.
Its face seems insectoid. It has sort of antennae that run up and down. It's got a long chain of red spines that run it down its back, a big frill, almost like a cobra, over its head, and many legs that end in sort of little pincers. And it's, again, sort of blue with like red spines going down it. And it looks straight, very close to your party. This thing has come out of the ground. You all sort of startle back and prepare for action as you face down the mighty polar worm. And that is where we end for tonight.
Oh, no, I want to fight it.
What was
Damn
that? What was that video game where it was in the ice and all those like creatures?
Really quickly, good night, stream. Thanks for tuning in. As you can tell, we're going to be picking up with combat next time.
Fight,
We didn't even roll initiative.